That's my kind of crossbow.
Oh.
You have one job.
This is no idle threat. Drop your weapons and cross the bridge one at a time. Fire! Fire! Fire!
So on this one, we have the Giant's Tree Ballista. This one works in a very weird way because it actually has two components to it. A normal ballista is just like a crossbow, but writ large. It has a tension in that arm in the front, and that's what propels the bolt forward. But in this one, they added a second component. They added the ropes that went to the giant rock that they kind of knocked down the gorge, the canyon. And that added some extra pull to accelerate it even faster, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it turns out that if you're going to do that, the fastest that tree could have accelerated would have had to be the acceleration of gravity, because otherwise that rock would not have fallen as fast as the tree accelerated and the lines would have gone slap. So we know that the maximum acceleration for that tree had to be 9.8 meters per second squared. So we can use that and some other information, because I looked at this and as soon as I saw this, I go, oh my god, that's totally a high school physics problem. I have to do that. Because, I mean, how many of you take high school physics? You got an inclined plane, you got a pulley. Oh man, this is going to be great. No, that's probably not what you're saying. All right, so that's what we're going to set up here. Here's the things that we know. The maximum acceleration would have to be 9.8 meters per second. I actually got a screenshot of that tree sitting on the ramp, and all the little people standing around, and I counted them up, all the little people, and I figured out how long the tree would have to be, how steep of an angle that ramp would have to be at. It turns out that that is a wimpy 1.3 ramp. If you want maximum range, you go 45 degrees, by the way. Well, in a frictionless environment. But, no friction here. I don't like that stuff. So we can use our high school kinematic equations and we can figure out what its final velocity would be. So that's what we want to do here. I can plug in some of this information here. Its initial velocity, it was sitting there, it's 0. Its maximum acceleration at 9.8 meters per second squared. And the height of that tree was about 75 meters, or just under 200 feet. I'm sorry, over 200 feet. So yeah, big tree. I mean, like the redwoods in California type big. So its final velocity would actually be about 38.3 meters per second, or 85 miles an hour. Not too shabby. But we want to know how long it's going to take to get to its max height on a wimpy 1.3 degree angle ramp. We have another kinematic equation for that. So we have its final velocity that we just calculated, its initial velocity, which we know to be 0, its acceleration. So we can plug in everything here, solve for the time, and it turns out it only takes 0.0887 seconds to get to its max height. Which means it's going to make its full arc in just under a fifth of a second. So let's do a little bit more with that. How far is it going to travel at that velocity we just calculated in a fifth of a second? It goes a whopping 200 feet. Not probably even crossing the canyon. But also, how high does it get is an important question. Turns out we can calculate that too. Just fun kinematic equations and plugging things in. We get it goes a whole 1.3 feet high.